Corey, sorry to break away from you here, but we do have breaking weather that's happening right now. We do have a tornado warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service in Cleveland for portions of Mahoning County. There you see where the storm is right now between Boardman and Poland right now, pretty much sitting right over 224. So the first thing we want to do for you is get you some arrival time so you can get to some shelter. If you're in Lowellville right now, you've got about 9 minutes to get to your safe place. 6:36 for Neshannock, and then up toward the new Wilmington area by 6:43. So we're going to go to reflectivity mode and show you again exactly where this storm is and get you some roads to name off here. If you're in the Klingen Road area east of Poland, if you're along 224 in Poland, Lyon Boulevard up toward Lowellville Road, you need to be in your safe place right now. National Weather Service in Cleveland, again, just moments ago, did issue this tornado warning for eastern Mahoning County. Tornado capable of producing a tornado, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Boardman or near Youngstown, moving to the northeast at about 10 miles per hour. So we are looking for some tree damage likely, damage to roofs and windows and vehicles. And this storm is going to be projected near Camel around 6:25. So if you're in the Camel area, now is the time to get to your safe place. Struthers, Lowellville, and again, the east side of Poland, you need to be in your safe place right now. Let's show you what is happening as far as the rotation in this storm. If you've been following Storm Tracker 21 throughout this afternoon, what we've noticed has persisted with the storm. You see these greens here? Those are winds moving toward the radar. The reds are winds blowing away from the radar. And it's kind of looked a little raw, a little ragged at times, but there have been some videos and some witness reports that have shown rotation and seen some brief funnels appear with this storm. So pretty much right over South Avenue near 680 is where this rotation is showing up on radar, moving toward the Poland area up 170. So once again, if you live in Poland, if you live in Struthers, if you live toward Struthers Road, out toward Lowellville, crossing Quarry Road here in the next 10-15 minutes, we want to get you in your safe place right now. There is a law enforcement source who also told me that there was some damage to a restaurant. The Bob Evans on 224 reportedly had some roof damage. We're working to confirm that as well. Anytime we've got a tornado warning, of course, the ideal place to be is in the basement or the lowest level of your home. If you don't have a basement, you want to get into a bathroom and interior closet on the lowest floor of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside walls as possible. If you've got some pillows or a mattress to cover your head, that's a good idea as well. Bathrooms are a good place. Of course, the walls are close together and strengthened by the plumbing here. Once again, if you're just joining us, the National Weather Service in Cleveland has issued a tornado warning for Mahoning County. This goes until 6:45 tonight, and I'm just going to check some information here real quick. As we continue to communicate with the National Weather Service, they continue to get those reports of debris being lifted in the southern areas of Boardman. So this is indicating, again, kind of a quick spin up coming out of this rotation, but nevertheless, it is cause enough for the Weather Service to go ahead and issue this tornado warning. Want to go back and a little bit wider here and do some updated arrival times for the folks in the path of this storm. Again, this is crossing through Poland right now, and as it moves off to the north and east, we're looking at Lowellville. You have several minutes to get to your safe place. 6:23 for you in Lowellville to get prepared and get away from this storm. Let's go a little bit closer here and again show you some of the roads and neighborhoods impacted here. If you are near Center Street in Struthers, if you're along Struthers Road, if you're along Klingen Road, near the Gospel Baptist School, just north of 224, this is where the rotation is being indicated on radar and moving off to the northeast. So you're going to want to be in your shelter right now because this is moving again off to the northeast at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. And we continue to wait on confirmation. We've had a couple of damage reports from a law enforcement source. We have not been able to confirm that. We haven't gotten any photos yet. I do want to show you just very briefly, if we can here. I'll pull up this photo here. Our storm chaser, Tyler, has been following this storm. This is a picture from earlier of what we call a low-hanging scud cloud. And this is a feature that has persisted with this storm for about the last hour. We've been watching this weak rotation and kind of waiting to see whether it strengthens and tightens up. And it has been enough so far to produce a couple of these quick lowerings of the cloud base and some funnels as well. Here's a loop of radar over about the last hour or so, and there has also been some torrential downpours with this storm as it moved through the Canfield area, across 224 in Boardman, and again off to the east-northeast. So aside from the tornado risk here, some blinding rains with this. Flash flood warning is in effect for Mahoning County as well. But of course, that takes a back seat to this tornado warning that we have in effect again for Mahoning County until 6:45. If you're just joining us, this storm has been producing rotation for quite some time, albeit weak and broad. But nevertheless, it has been persistent. And in the latest scan here of Storm Tracker radar, it's still kind of looking a bit ragged. We're looking for some bright greens right next to some bright reds here, and we're not quite seeing that. But there is nevertheless enough rotation here for the Weather Service to go ahead and post this tornado warning. The green here that you see, the cool colors, are winds blowing toward the radar site, and the reds are winds blowing away. So right in the middle, right where these colors are coming together here, is where we're having that, that rotation, and there is some lifting of debris that has been reported. So if you live in Struthers, if you live just north of 224 in the Camel and Lowellville areas, you need to be in your safe place right now. Again, that is a basement interior room on the lowest floor of your home. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. I'm checking another source here to see if we've got any updated information here. So bear with me for just a second. Not seeing anything new from the National Weather Service. We have been talking to the Weather Service, and they've been following this as well. What they're calling these areas of rotation and quick spin-ups, they call them land spouts. So these are not the kind of catastrophic, half-mile wide, violent or strong tornadoes, but they are enough to do some damage here. So if you are in the Boardman area, say again, Kylie? Okay. All right, so we just talked to Boardman, Mahoning County Dispatch. They have not heard reports of any damage at that Bob Evans. Again, there was a law enforcement source that witnessed some damage in that area, but so far we have not gotten any confirmation of that from dispatchers. Thank you, Kylie, for that. But in the meantime, we continue to watch this storm, and we have been over the last hour. Again, it's been producing some very intense lightning all the way back toward the Canfield area, back toward Route 45. So this storm has been causing issues for quite some time. But just within the last several minutes, we do have this tornado warning that has been issued. If you're just joining us, this goes for portions of eastern Mahoning County until 6:45. At 6:02, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Boardman or near Youngstown, moving northeast at 10 miles per hour. So this thing is kind of taking its time, and that's one of the reasons for that flash flood warning as well. We've got this torrential rain that this storm has produced, and that combined with its slow movement is causing some flooding problems in some areas. Let's go back to to velocity mode here, and we'll take a look at how strong this rotation is. And again, it's looking kind of broad and ragged. We're not seeing those bright greens right next to the bright reds kind of mixing within each other. We call that a velocity couplet, and we're not quite seeing that. So that's a bit encouraging as we continue to follow this storm. Okay. Thank you, Kylie. Okay, we're getting some Facebook comments from some viewers in some communities saying that there are no sirens going off in those areas. And to be clear, sirens are not meant to be heard indoors, so you may not hear them even if your municipality or city is sounding those, and different locales have different criteria for setting those sirens off, so be aware of that. And this is one of the reasons why you want to have the Storm Tracker 21 app, because you want to have several redundant ways of getting tornado warnings. So if you don't hear a tornado siren, don't necessarily think that you are out of the threat from this thunderstorm that may be producing a tornado. We're going to back things out here and again do a fresh storm track for you, and get some arrival times to get you time to get to shelter here, as this continues to move off to the northeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. 640 in the Villa Maria area, and up toward Pulaski at around 659. If this does hold together, this is a long time from now. Of course, this tornado warning only going until 6:45 officially. Right now, we're looking again primarily in the Struthers, Camel, and Lowellville areas. So if you live, actually the polygon is just updated here. So Struthers is now out of the warning polygon, but we're still looking for areas along 289 near Newcastle Road. Under the gun here, 289 near Newcastle Road. You are in the path of this storm. Struthers Road near Center Street on the east side of town. You want to be in your safe place. And of course, if you are in Lowellville proper right now, north of 224, you want to be in your safe place, the basement or in an interior room on the lowest floor of your home or building. Going to check my source with the National Weather Service here. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Camel or near Youngstown. The Weather Service is emphasizing that the rotation on the radar is weak, but there still may be some quick spin-ups here, as we have seen already, as evidenced by some of the viewer and accounts and videos that we have seen. Folks, we're getting some questions about what's going on at the Canfield Fairgrounds. This is east of the Fairgrounds right now. We'll go back to the regular radar here and show folks what's happening in Canfield. Just some heavy rain there right now. Okay, if you're at the fairgrounds, you're seeing some very heavy downpours in that area. There is a flash flood warning in effect for that area of Mahoning County. But Canfield is not included in this tornado warning. So that's some good news for the folks who have plans to be at the fair. The storm continues to move off to the north and east, to the east-northeast at about 15 miles per hour. And talking to my producer, Kylie, behind the scenes here, if we can check with dispatchers once again, there's a report from authorities in Boardman of water rising along Boardman-Canfield Road, potentially someone trapped. This is near the Blue Wolf Tavern across the street in the apartments there in that area along Boardman-Canfield Road. So reports of rising water in the western areas of Boardman, the eastern areas of Canfield. So we'll show you where that is here. If we go back farther west, where we're looking here is around Pinewood Drive, Mill Creek Boulevard, Red Tail Hawk Court across 224, that area where we're seeing some reports of some rising water. So we're going to be checking with authorities and seeing if folks are in danger from flash flooding in that area. But of course, again, our priority right now is this tornado warning that the Weather Service is continuing through 6:45. And I'll look at the information that they have shared with us. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Camel, moving northeast at 10 miles per hour. So again, slow-moving storm here that is dumping some torrential rain. So that combined with the slow movement is leading to the flash flooding concerns, but there is some persistent rotation that has been with this storm through about the last hour or so. Here is what the latest wind direction and speed measure looks like. And again, we're not quite seeing the tight couplet where we look for those bright greens right next to the bright reds. This is still quite broad and ragged here. But what we're noticing, again, the greens, winds toward the radar, the reds blowing away. And right in the middle of those, where those colors come together, is where we're having that weak rotation and some occasional spin-ups with this storm. If you live in Lowellville right now, I've been emphasizing you should be in your safe place for about the next half hour or so, the next 25 minutes. So it's 6:20 right now. This warning goes till 6:45. If you live along 289 between Newcastle Road and Lowellville, you still should be in your safe place. You have several minutes because of the slow movement of this storm. And again, this is primarily north of 224, north and east of Poland. Struthers, for the most part, has been removed from this polygon, so this is off to your east now, and continues to move off to the north and east. We're going to back things out real quick and kind of show you what is going on in the rest of our 5-county viewing area. We've got some steadier rain in parts of Mercer and Lawrence counties, a few heavier downpours in parts of Trumbull County, but Mahoning County is where the most activity is right now. Flash flood warning for most of Mahoning County, including Austintown, Boardman, and Youngstown proper. And of course, this tornado warning that continues until 6:45 for the Campbell and Lowellville area. If you're just joining us, this was issued at about 6:02 when the National Weather Service first spotted rotation over Youngstown and the Boardman area. This has moved off to the north and east and is now impacting primarily the Lowellville and Campbell areas. Checking my sources for any updated information that we may have from the National Weather Service. Nothing from them so far. So they have gone ahead and continued this tornado warning for eastern Mahoning County. We're going to do a different product here and see if we can follow some of these areas of rotation. I've mentioned that this storm has shown rotation for the last hour, and as you can clearly see, this goes all the way back toward areas near Salem. We started watching this storm rotating near the Salem area, and again, that rotation has maintained itself over the last hour or so, and is now starting to cross over into parts of Lawrence County. So far, the National Weather Service in Pittsburgh has not gone ahead and extended the tornado warning into Lawrence County. Keep in mind, the National Weather Service in Cleveland has jurisdiction over Mahoning and Trumbull counties. The Pittsburgh Weather Service issues warnings for Lawrence, Mercer, and Columbiana counties. So we have not gotten an indication yet that this tornado warning is going to be extended. We're getting reports from the Canfield Fairgrounds area where the heaviest of the rain has fallen. A couple of inches of water has started a pond in some areas on the fairgrounds there. We know our chief meteorologist, Eric Wilhelm, who was at our WFMJ tent, said that the tent was taking on water. This was about half hour, 45 minutes ago. So aside from the potential tornado threat here with this storm, it continues to produce torrential downpours that have prompted that. Getting some information from my producer. Can you repeat that, Kylie, please? Okay, fair officials are saying that they are holding the doors now for the Sam Hunt concert that had been scheduled for tonight. So we will keep you abreast of any adjustments that the fair officials make throughout the evening tonight. Of course, on the 21 News app and WFMJ.com. If you have plans to go to the Sam Hunt concert tonight, fair officials say they are holding the doors for that concert. And we're still checking around, if you bear with us here, looking for some new information here. And still not seeing any updates from the National Weather Service in Pittsburgh or Cleveland, but this storm continues to move off to the north and east very slowly, so immediately we're looking for the Campbell and Lowellville areas to be seeing impacts from this. But as this moves off to the north and east and crosses into Lawrence County, we're looking for Villa Maria and the Nashua areas between 6:27 and 6:31. You're going to want to be in your safe place in case this area of rotation does hold together. And we're getting some viewer photos in here, some very imposing cloud formations. We've got a photo from the Poland 5 Points area. We're going to work to get that on the air for you as soon as we can here. Okay, we're getting reports from dispatch as well that a woman has been rescued. We mentioned that rising water in the area of 1100 Boardman Canfield Road, some apartments in that area. We're getting reports that there was a woman rescued from a car in that area. So some flash flooding going on in the Tippecanoe Road 224 area, again, along Boardman Canfield Road. So be aware if you are traveling in that area. We're going to back things out a little bit wider here, and again, we're just looking for any kind of clues that this rotation is tightening, and so far it is not. But it is still enough for the National Weather Service to continue this warning, this tornado warning, from Mahoning County until 6:45. These winds blowing toward and away from the radar have been causing the Weather Service to issue this warning, and we're looking for some lowering of the cloud base here. We're seeing some of these quick spin-ups, and some folks have reported some rotation near the ground and some brief funnels as this storm has persisted with its rotation over about the last hour or so. So once again, if you're in the Lowellville area right now, up Route 289 toward Kimmel, you still want to be in your safe place for about the next 18 minutes at least. 6:27 as we check in with you right now. This warning goes for another 18 minutes until 6:45 this evening. And we're continuing to check our sources here for any updated information from the National Weather Service. No indication that this tornado warning is going to be extended into Lawrence County, at least not as of yet. But they have released a special weather statement for portions of Lawrence County. A strong thunderstorm will be affecting that area, they say, with potential for some flooding rains and some strong gusty winds. A reminder, if you do find yourself under this tornado warning, if you are in Lowellville or Campbell or eastern Mahoning County, mainly north of 224, the basement is the place to be. Ideally, if you don't have a basement, get under a workbench or a heavy piece of furniture in an interior room on the lowest floor of your home, an interior closet, or a bathroom is going to be ideal. If you have pillows or blankets to cover your head, that's a good idea. If you've got a bicycle helmet to protect your head, that is also a good idea. I'm going to switch sources here and see what this rotation looks like from the Pittsburgh radar. And it's still looking pretty weak and ragged here. We're not seeing those bright reds right next to the bright greens. These are some weaker returns here. So this is rotation mainly in the middle levels. And the question is whether this is mixing down to the surface. We may have some new information here if you'll stand by just a second. Okay, the National Weather Service has canceled the tornado warning for Mahoning County. The National Weather Service has just dropped the tornado warning for Mahoning County that had been in effect until 6:45. So, if we go back to conventional radar here, we still want to remind folks in the Lowellville and Campbell areas, you still want to be on your guard for any damaging winds that may be produced by this storm. Also, some torrential downpours that may produce some flash flooding. This is moving off to the north and east toward the Pulaski area, across 551 and 422. But so far, the National Weather